Ayla and the Cloud Ship. Ayla was a curious 8-year-old girl who lived in a small seaside village where the wind played with the curtains each morning, and one day after school, when she saw a feather-light cloud shaped like a boat drifting low above the sea, she wondered if a cloud could really carry her on an adventure. So she packed her little red backpack with a simple lunch of bread and cheese, a water bottle, her blue sketchbook, a pencil, and a small telescope her grandfather had given her last year. Then she ran down the sandy path to the pier where her best friend, the gentle seagull named Sera, was waiting on a wooden post with her bright eyes fixed on the sky. Together they watched the cloud boat float nearer until it seemed to rest on the calm water, its edges soft and glowing in the late afternoon light. And when Ayla climbed onto the pier railing and called, "Hello, cloud ship, may I come aboard?" The cloud dipped one side as if bowing while Sera squawked a quiet yes. So Ayla stepped carefully onto the cloud bank, which felt cool and spongy under her feet, and her heart beat fast with joy and a little fear. The cloud rose gently, lifting Ayla and Sera above the water and carrying them over the harbor where sailors waved in wonder and children clapped from the shore. And as they sailed toward the open sea, Ayla held her pencil above the cloud deck and drew the sun turning golden behind the hills while Sera flew beside her in tight circles, letting small drops of seawater catch the light in tiny rainbows. After some time, the cloud ship passed through a curtain of mist and into a bright sky where other floating islands appeared, each shaped like an animal or a tree, and on one island Ayla saw a ring of white flowers that shone like pearls. So the cloud ship stopped there and Ayla climbed down to pick a single flower petal that glowed softly, and the petal felt warm and smooth as satin. And when she held it in her hand she heard a soft humming in the air like a lullaby. Sera told her that the flowers only appeared on hidden cloud islands once every 100 years to reward brave hearts who listened to the wind. So Ayla tucked the petal into her sketchbook and climbed back onto the cloud ship, which rose up again with a gentle sigh. And they sailed on and saw more wonders, a silver waterfall pouring from a floating mountain into the empty sky below, a cloud whale that sang deep songs as it drifted, and a galaxy of tiny lights that flickered like stars but swirled in soft purple and pink colors. Ayla tried to capture each sight in her sketchbook, drawing simple lines and shapes, and she whispered to Sera that she wished she could share these wonders with her grandmother, who loved stories of magic. And as the sun began to dip low, coloring the sea in orange and pink, the cloud ship turned toward home. Ayla held the glowing petal in her hand and said thank you to the wind, to the clouds, and to Sera for guiding her. And when the cloud ship came down above the pier it lowered a soft ramp of mist for Ayla and Sera to step off. Then it drifted back up into the sky, becoming a bright dot among the other clouds. Ayla ran home with Sera, her backpack bumping against her shoulders, and her grandmother came out to meet her with a warm smile. And inside the cozy kitchen Ayla showed her grandmother the glowing petal, and the two of them sat by the window, high on the kitchen bench, and Ayla told every detail of the adventure, the gentle lift of the cloud, the hidden islands, the glowing flowers, and the singing whale. Her grandmother listened with shining eyes and said, "You have a heart that sees magic in every breeze," and she placed the petal on a small glass plate on the windowsill, where it glowed softly in the moonlight. That night Ayla wrote in her sketchbook, "Today I sailed on a cloud ship and found a flower that sings. I learned that when you follow your curiosity, the sky will open its doors." And as she drifted to sleep she imagined new adventures, perhaps a cloud train that leads to the moon, or a sky garden filled with rainbow flowers. She knew that every question she asked the wind would carry her to new wonders, and she dreamed that Sera would join her on many journeys, exploring the world above the clouds together. And she left her telescope on the windowsill, ready for the next clear night when she would look beyond the clouds again. And every morning she looked up at the sky and smiled, remembering that the world is full of hidden doors waiting to be opened by a kind heart.